This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Your home for all things Manchester High School football. With head coach Evan Huckstetler and your host, J.J. Hush.
Hello and welcome to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, J.J. Hush, with the coach of the Manchester Blue Devils, Coach Evan Hochstetler. Coach, thank you for your time again today.
Thank you.
So the Manchester Blue Devils faced off this weekend with the Taylor County Vikings, and you got your first win as a head coach here for Manchester. Just tell us about that a little bit. How's it feel to get your first win under your belt?
It feels good. We're 1-1, so anytime you win a football game, I don't care the record or how many games you won, it feels good to win. So Saturday morning felt a little bit better than it did last weekend.
And I bet practice coming up this week felt pretty good, the first practice this week, because of the win. Kids are feeling a little more excited, buying into it a little bit more, and it makes it a lot easier when you come out with a W.
Yes, they were jumping around a little bit more this morning. Unfortunately, we did practice on Labor Day. With the short week we play this Thursday, we could not give the kids off any time on Monday. So we came in this morning at 9 o'clock, had really good numbers for a holiday. I know I had 2 kids that their parents got in contact with me, said they're out of town with family members, but we had a good turnout. We went at it for about 2 hours and 15 minutes, came in and watched film, and we got a lot done today.
What challenges do you guys face as far as coming in off a win like that, but you go into a holiday weekend, and it's a short week, so how does that affect you guys in preparation for this Thursday?
It throws everything off. High school, we should play on Friday and let it be done, but usually we're used to Monday. I call it a cleanup day. What we do on Monday, we'll go out and clean up the mess from Friday, then we'll install coming up this next week, and basically we got our legs back underneath us on Monday, and we'll watch film on Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday are the long, bloody days, as you per se. We did a lot more hitting on Tuesday and Wednesday, but unfortunately today for Monday we had a hit. We work on tackling probably about 15, 20 minutes today.
Was there any injuries over the weekend or anything like that to worry about coming up for this Thursday night's game?
We did lose our starting right guard. Not getting too many details. He's still going to the doctor. He's going to get an MRI done. But anytime you lose a big piece of offensive line, it hurts a little bit. But we're going to have to refocus and move some guys around a little bit and go from there.
So let's talk about the game a little bit Friday night. We'll talk about the offense. It seemed like that you guys got some stuff clicking, and it was real instrumental in the victory this Friday.
Yes, offensively, we were clicking a lot better this past Friday than we did against Charlton County. And I think we ended up over 300 yards rushing and over 100 yards passing. And personally, I like to be around the 350, 375 range rushing. If you can't get there, it means you're going to have a lot of success that night. But we were able to move the sticks, picking up first downs. We moved the ball up and down the field all night long. I think we punted one time, and that was a issue where we had bad field position, and we had first down. We lost some yardage, and we didn't feel comfortable throwing out of our end zone, so we had to punt the ball, and we did a good job. But offensively, it was clicking.
So let's talk about that run game a little bit. You had a couple guys contribute to make this offense go, and that's what's going to happen with the wing T offense, is to get multiple guys in there. But a couple guys stood out on Friday night.
Yes, we had 7 Manchester Blue Devils get a carry on Friday night. And like I told the kids today, we have to leave the jealousy at the door when it comes to our offense. We have about 6, 7, 8 guys that can play at any spot on Friday night. I can throw them in there. And it's maybe one of those issues where one running back has 150 yards for 2 games in a row that he doesn't have a good game. It just depends. But we had 3 guys that had over 10 carries. We had 3 guys that had 70 yards or more. We had one running back that had over 100. So
yeah, and let's talk about that young player. He had a good week, a pretty good week last week. But he really stepped up this week, and that was Gamble.
Yes, Gamble did a really good job. Tell you what, he's benefiting from his teammates too. we ran jet pretty well Friday, and obviously we have the counter game off the jet. And Gamble, I know he had 2 big runs off the counter game. It was about 5 minutes left in the game, and we were down by 1 point. And first play of the series, we ran the counter play. He ran it for about 70 yards and got it down inside the 5. But Gamble had a big night. He had a pretty good night blocking. He had a couple good runs on jet and on our G power scheme and on our counter game. He's getting better each week, and I told him in film today, once he steps up his game in the passing game, he's going to be really hard to stop.
And that's a good package to have when you have a guy like Trey Gamble to get to the outside. And you guys got guys like Anthony Bell, who had a very successful night as well, and 2 touchdowns for you guys, pounding it up the middle for you guys.
Yeah, Bell had a pretty good night from the fullback position. To be honest with you, I need it to get better. At the football team, we need the fullback position to be one of the best positions on the field. He's working hard. It's a new system for him. I know he has not been in a system like this. As far as learning his tracks, there's a couple times on ISO where it's a B-gap play, but he was bouncing it out a little bit. So he has to trust his track, trust the coaching, and get in there. So it's going to come. He will get better each game.
And he had some success, but it felt like a family affair on Friday because his little brother, Ashton Bell, also had a pretty good night as well running the football.
Yes, Bell. Both Bells had a good night. The younger brother had about 90 yards on 10 carries, so that's pretty good success. He had a pretty good night blocking. He might have had the best night blocking of any of the running backs. He just got to get his hat level lower. But then again, they feed off each other. If one's having success, the other one's going to have more success. It's hard to stop 3 or 4 good running backs, and they just got to believe in each other and work hard for each other.
Also, your quarterback, Garrett Brown, he's not much of a runner, but he did have a touchdown on the ground, I believe, in that ball game. Talk about his, success. You have the running backs, but down the goal line, that QB is also a factor.
Yeah, he did a good job. And actually, it's a play that we have not worked on any. We have not called this play, and he came to the sidelines. I told him, we're running ISO, but don't tell anybody. I want you to ride it and pull and keep running. He said, yes, sir. So it's just one of the plays we hadn't worked on. Our coach in the press box asked what play I had called, and I told him he didn't want to know because the play we hadn't worked on in practice. But they did a good job. Again, we feed off each other. If they're stopping us, so we're going to run something to counter that.
And Garrett also had, running that ball as attacking. It forces those guys to come up in the box, and that opens up the passing game. And it seemed like that was working pretty well as Garrett Brown threw 5 completions, 7 attempts, and he threw a touchdown as well. So it looked like the passing game was opening up a little bit.
We threw the ball 7 times, completed 5. We probably should have completed 6 of the 7, but we completed 5. He threw over 100 yards. 4 of those receptions went to Preacher Man Addy, but he did a good job. I know one time we were 3rd and 12, and we let us sprint out. He completed it for a first down. To me, that was his best throw of the game. Not the long throws or the touchdown pass, but when we needed to move the sticks, get a first down, he did his job.
And that's so crucial, especially when you have a run game like that. It's crucial to move those chains when you have to pass the ball to keep those chains moving, to keep the drive going.
Yes, we're fortunate this year. We got a pretty good receiver on the outside, and we got some halfbacks that are athletic. And we have a sophomore quarterback that can see over the line of scrimmage. He throws a good ball. He's getting better each week. But that's one thing I hadn't had in the past. Sometimes at a wing tee, when you get 3rd and long, you struggle. And just because you're a running football team, it's second nature to run the football. It's difficult to throw it sometimes. But he did a good job. I think it was 3rd and 12, and we got him out of the pocket. He threw it and got a first down.
Man, it has to be just a blessing to have a guy on the outside like DeMarcus Addy, as you were talking about earlier. It seems like each week he's just making a bigger and more plays down the stretch going downfield.
Yes, he's doing a good job. He caught 2 balls over the middle, and I tell our kids once they start running the alleys, I call them the alleys, trying to stop our jet or butt sweep, we will stretch the ball the field vertically, and that's what we did. When the safety makes a tackle on jet, within a couple plays, I'm probably going to throw over the top of them. If we complete it, good. If we don't, I'm at least loosening up the defense. But Preacher Man definitely has great hands. He caught 2 post routes for big yardage. Then we got down inside the 5, and the defense was in the box, and we threw the ball out to him. He caught it and got a touchdown.
That's such a mismatch too with the run offense to have a one-on-one cornerback most of the time with your receiver because it's mostly running plays and they're cheating up. To have that one-on-one is always a good option to have outside.
Yeah, it does, and I have noticed on Friday night it's also loosening up the safety too because they kind of cloud coverage him. I call it cloud coverage when the safety's over the top and the corner's tight, but that opens up our running game. Again, we're helping each other out. Obviously, they're going to gear to stop Preacher a little bit more. So in the passing game, I told our guys today in the film room, that's got to open up our halfbacks. They got to step up in the passing game.
Talk a little bit about the offensive line. Any offense needs an offensive line to go, and it looked like that they were opening up some holes last night to get those running yards.
Yeah, they're getting better. They're taking baby steps. I would like for them to be a little bit further along, but we still have, 3 more games before we play region, and as long as they get better each day, we'll be okay. As a unit, they play well. Our guards did a good job on the butt sweep and G power scheme. We were able to run fullback trap a couple times. And a lot of it mentally and physically, we get tired as the game goes on. Our stance are not quite as good as they were in the first quarter. Their mistakes, we can correct their mistakes. We will get better.
Let's talk a little bit, move from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side of the ball a little bit. What can we see? What did we see from those guys this weekend that could show some promise for the future? And they look like they played pretty well against that pass game.
Yes. Taylor County was under 50% passing, and anytime you hold a quarterback like that under 50% passing, you're doing a pretty good job. And the scoreboard again don't reflect the how well the defense played. They only had 2 drives that were 50 yards or more, which is pretty good. In one of those drives, it was the first play that the guy ran it for 95 yards. It's off a turnover. They had it inside the 5 going out. They ran a little fold trap play. He ran it for 95 yards. But you take away a couple of mistakes, our defense played very well.
Yeah, and besides that big run, they faced a pretty good athlete in Lynn J. Dixon from Taylor County. He had a heck of a ball game. I think he had a kickoff return for a touchdown and, as you said, a rushing touchdown as well. But it seemed like that the defense was making some strides to get better and holding those guys to those yards.
We got more hats to the ball. We still got to get more hats. We got to get all 11 to the ball. Again, it's the little things. We got to get better at little things on defense. We are improving, but not taking giant steps forward on defense. But we are getting better. The scoreboard didn't reflect it. We got to get a little bit better in open field tackling. We got our middle linebacker has to get better reading his keys. I know a couple of times he took himself out of the play, and he points it out on film. He says, "Coach, yes, I didn't do my job there." So as long as they're learning and they're trying to get better, we're gonna be okay.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester. Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Coach, it looked like the special teams had a little bit of a rough go on a couple of those plays, but what can we see from us this week to improve that on special teams and pursue the ball just a little bit better?
Well, obviously, anytime we're not quite to the level we want to get at, we're going to work on it in practice. The special team, the point of attack was okay for us on kickoffs, but we had about 3 guys that did not do their job getting downfield, and we pointed that out on film, and it hurts. I mean, we got to have all 11. They have to do their job in order to have success, and he did break it a long one the first time we kick off to him, and we had some issues as far as kicking, but we do have some positive from the special team. Preacher man Addy, he had some good returns when they kicked off to us. Our punt team, one time we kicked out of our end zone, had a pretty good punt. So there's some positive, but there's some negatives as well we got to work on.
And you're always going to have those things you can work on during the week and point out in the film room, stuff like that. And one of those things is turnovers. You guys did have a couple turnovers, a couple fumbles. One you mentioned inside the red zone, and those will never help you. But it's stuff to definitely work on for this next week.
Yes, we had 2 fumbles inside the 10. One was inside the 5. I really thought that we could have put the game away, and we didn't put it away. But we had 5 fumbles Friday night. We lost 4. And I told the kids before we watched film, the 2013 team that I coach at Bowden, we have 597 rushing plays. We lost 3 fumbles and almost 600 attempts. And we lost 4 in 55 rushing attempts. And I guess it's a physical thing as far as losing fumbles, but it's also a mental thing. It's a focused aspect of football. I think it's more mental than physical as far as fumbling. We did spend the first 20 minutes today working on controlling the ball. So that's one thing that I hate. You got so much to work on, and I hate taking time away from repping the plays or working better on blocking. But then again, if we got to get better at an aspect of our offense, we will get better. We spent 20 minutes working on fumbles today.
And the turnover battle is so huge because usually about 9 times out of 10, if you lose the turnover battle, you lose the ball game. But,
yes, we were lucky Friday.
Yeah. So let's talk about, last Friday you got that win. Now that's over. You're looking forward to this Thursday night when you take on the Columbus Blue Devils. They're a pretty good football team. They come in 2-0. What can we expect to see from those guys coming in?
You're going to see a very athletic team. Looking on film, they're very well coached. I can tell that they have been coached. They're doing the things that are positive on film. They're where they're supposed to be scheme-wise. You can tell their coaches spend time in the film room. They spend time teaching the kids what they see on the practice field, and it shows on Friday night. So you're going to see an athletic team from Columbus and a team that's well coached.
Looking at there on the offensive side of the ball, what can we see from those guys? What will they show? Who's the players that stand out for the Columbus Blue Devils?
Looking at last year's film, they're a little bit more spread. I know their QB, this is his 4th year starting, and they have some of their linemen back and have their running back. But it's almost a mirror image of what we do offensively. It was very surprising when I turned the film on this weekend. They give a lot of wing T look, but the only difference is they're QB's in the shotgun, and the fullback's still behind the QB. When we're under the center, they're in the shotgun. They still run the down, the ISO, the trap, the buck, the jet, just like we do, but it's in the shotgun.
So a lot of running for this team then, a lot of pounding the football.
They're going to pound it. They're going to run their waggle. They got a receiver they like to get the ball to, just like we do. So when we prepare this week defensively, it's a good thing because we send a lot of ourselves. So naturally, it comes a little bit. The learning curve is not as steep this week. We just show them offense, and we go against ourselves quite a bit. So stopping butt sweep against ourselves, the same thing stopping buck against Columbus. We just got to do our job.
And that's an advantage coming in when you've seen it a lot and you've seen it in practice all the time. It's almost when you get out there, it's like, man, I'm almost in practice. It takes kind of one of those nerves away, seeing a new offense.
It's going to be an advantage for both teams. I mean, their defense is stopping the wing T, and our defense is stopping the wing T. It's basically whoever does the job the best.
So let's talk about their defense. What do they usually? I know facing wing T offenses, a lot of defenses change what they'll scheme and what they'll show. But what do they usually show out there, and who's the players to watch out for on that side of the football field?
looking at film, they're off front. You can call it. I call it 34. The old coaches will call it 50, but to me it's a 34 look. Obviously they got the center covered up with the nose man, and they'll try to cover up your tackles with defensive tackles. It's almost the same look that we've been seeing the last 2 weeks, and that's a good thing for our offensive line. They've seen the off front for about 3 or 4 weeks since we've been preparing for Charlton County. So they're used to the odd front. It's nothing too different for them, just different personnel. Columbus, their linebackers are a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. Our guards got to be aware of that. So there's a couple things we got to work on, but other than that, it's the same defense we've been going up against the last couple of weeks.
It seems like every team has those athletes that pop out at you when you're on film, and they're the stars of the team. And for Columbus, overall, they go to their quarterback for a lot of things. Derek Brown is a young, I think he's a junior over there, and he's a very good athletic guy. He had 2 touchdowns last week, and he looked pretty sharp.
Yes, he does a good job running the offense. He does not make mistakes. He keeps the ball going as far as no turnovers. If offense can take another snap, that's a positive thing for them. He operates the offense. They run. And they do throw the waggle. He does a good job getting out of the pocket, and he throws it to the open man. That's a very good high school football player.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester. Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show with J.J. Hush and Coach Evan Hochstetler. Coach, a couple big plays by Gamble, as we've already been talking about. He had a big ball game, but let's talk a little bit about that touchdown run and what was the play call and what developed there.
Okay, obviously, anytime you get the ball first, you want to get on the board first. And we're about 16, 15 yards out. A lot of times defense try to stop you up the middle. So I'm a big believer in trying to get outside when we get close to the goal line. And we just ran, it was red. We ran jet with Gamble. He got to the sidelines, and he finished the play very strong. There was contact about the 5-yard line, but he went to the end zone. Very good football run.
He had several plays like that, especially later in the ball game. Y'all ran that jet again, and he took it for a good 21-yard gain on that one.
Yes, he's a physical football player, and hopefully by mid-year he'll play defense the same way he does running the football. But he got the jet. He got on the outside, and he's a big body. He may not weigh that much, but he's got good muscle, good tone to him, but big football body. And he put his pass down, got behind his pass, and ran over a DB. It looked really good.
And, they kept going for that jet, and a lot of those, what happens with a jet was when you get the defense moving one way, the counter brings it back the other way. And Gamble also had a huge run on the counter late in that ball game.
Yes, late in the ball game, we're down by 1. We had a long ways to go. It was 5 minutes left in the game. And all we did was we faked the jet to the wide side of the field, came back with the counter, and Gamble made a very good football run. He got it all the way inside the 5-yard line to set up the go-ahead touchdown.
So DeMarcus Addy, of course, had a big ball game. Talk about that first catch he made down the sidelines, the 40-yard catch from Garrett Brown.
That's a play we were talking about earlier. It's 3rd and long, 3rd and 12. It's a good throw by our QB. The only thing we're trying to do right there is keep the sticks moving and get it the first down. He runs about 15-yard out, 15 back to 12. We threw him a ball. He made a good catch. He held on to the ball, and we kept the drive going. It's a very good football play.
The touchdown play that you had to him down the goal line, with a wing T offense, most guys, you just run the power, run the jet, stuff like that down at the goal line to power it in. But it's got to be great to have a weapon down there on this touchdown play. Just one route, and he was wide open. A very good, nice route.
Yeah, it's a good route. I call it scramble route. We threw that a lot when I was a QB in high school, but we like to throw the slant, and off the slant we run the scramble route. And so he pushes the corner in, he digs in and gets out straight out to the sideline. QB make a throw, good pitch and catch, and it's a simple route. It's basically pitch and catch. So as long as they execute the play well, good things will happen.
Tarrant County has a very good offense, and they were showing it all ball game. When it came down to it, in that final drive for them, they were coming down the field, and they took a shot deep. But DeMarcus Addy, not only an offensive player, but he made a great defensive play at the end of that ball game.
Yes, he's playing a lot more defense than he did in years past. He made a good play on the ball. It's just him and that one receiver. So if he don't make the play on the ball, the guy may catch it and score. So a great play. He was trying to return it for a touchdown. I was trying to tell him to fall down and run the clock out, but fortunately we did not fumble on the play. But a very good defensive play.
And it takes those crucial moments like that to build up that team chemistry and stuff like that to move forward and make sure that you guys are ready for those crucial moments down the road when you play in the region.
Yes. We made some key plays at the end of the game that when we were faced with adversity, and I told the kids that today. I said, we were down by 1 with 5 minutes left, and I felt like some of the kids might have hung their head against it a little bit. Man, I told them, that's okay. We have to be able to face adversity and make plays when the game's on the line, and a lot of our kids did Friday night.
Talk about the first game at home with the kids in front of the home crowd. How was it out there at Greg Oglesby Field at Memorial Stadium this weekend?
Very exciting. I tell you what, it was probably the hottest day of the summer so far. At 3:30, I took the wet bulb out that the Georgia High School mandates us to use. It was too hot to practice. So we would have had a practice inside the gym that day. And it was by far the hottest day we had so far. But when the sun went down, the atmosphere was a very good high school atmosphere. A lot of fans there. The crowd was into it. The band was into it. The cheerleaders were into it. And that's what it's all about. That people, they definitely got their money's worth Friday night.
So, Coach, again, Thursday night game, 7:30 down in Columbus, Georgia, against the Columbus High School Blue Devils. What's it going to take for success coming into Thursday night's game?
We got to execute. We got to make plays. Offensively, our hat level's got to be lower than theirs. That means our linemen got to come off the ball for a good hat level. Our backs got to run their tracks, and we got to complete a couple of balls we put in the air. Defensively, we got to play sound defense. We got technique-wise, got to be much better than it was the week before and get to the ball. I think we're in a position to be very successful Thursday. However, if we do not do what we're coached to do or do not come out there with the effort, it could be a very long night for us.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in each week for the lowdown on all the Blue Devil football news.